Sit on and spin.
Oh, I'll talk to her. I'll talk to her real good. I'll talk to her real good. I'm not scared. Bye, melted candle. See ya.
A melted candle.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So Destiny, Amberlynn's ex, who used to occasionally spill some tea, made a post saying they were coming back to YouTube. So in the spirit of welcoming Dusty Destiny back, I thought I'd put together a compilation of some of their moments we may have forgotten and a few moments that we'll always remember. Grab a 20 piece, maybe even a 40, and let's watch this compilation, y'all.
Jesus Christ is my name.
Slowly.
And take your hand down a little bit further on the glass so I can see some of the top of the glass.
Like this?
Yeah, you want us to see some of the alcohol, honey.
And action. Holding up the shot glass.
That is it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Put your feet down, your toes. Point your toes. Can see your mouth.
Aww.
Open
Yes,
wider.
that's beautiful.
Oh, that's
Right.
She knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
Got a
She's a
professional
model.
model.
Maybe I can get.
My mom ended up getting physical with Amberlynn. That's where the Kcup holder comes back. They're kind of slapping around at each other. That Kcup holder was sitting on the stairs for us to take upstairs or whatever.
That's probably the best one ever.
Me and Amberlynn have been wanting one, and this was only $1.59 at the Goodwill, so...
I can't believe how cheap that is. Like, what the?
My mom came back with it and hit her over the head with it. It was very traumatizing for me.
Every time I see this clip, it just pisses me off all over again. Sorry, y'all. I know compilations are supposed to have minimal talking. Don't mind my yapping.
We still haven't found my cat.
Sorry. Yeah, we still haven't found Gracie.
It was awkward when I met her because she was still living with Crystal. And it was awkward, and she answered the door, and she just asked if I wanted to meet Charlie, which was Crystal's mom's cat. And that's all she said to me. Like, she didn't say, like, hey, or nothing. She was just like, do you want to meet Charlie?
Hey, lady.
Oh my god.
You forgot your spaghetti.
He's just very jealous. Get down, Beth. Okay. Why don't you see what he's barking at instead of worrying about barking at him? I'm sorry, he's hateful. I'm trying to get him to hush. But with Cash, we let Dana's dad wanted to keep her or him because he's a real good dog. He is a very good, like, security kind of dog. Like, he was not gonna let anyone get messed with if he was around. Now, he did not let him be inside. He was chained up outside, and I feel like that's one of the things that led to everything that happens with Cash. Was just he went from being, well, he was 98% of the time outside with us too, but it was because he wanted to be. Like, it got to the point where he was letting himself out of the house and just staying outside all the time. So, I mean, he loves being outside. Then about a year into living in Florida, we were like, we want Cash down here with us. So my dad's kind of against having a holder dog come in the house. So I was like, well, I'll see if a friend can watch after him while we try to find a place. Because we didn't plan on moving back to Kentucky. We really didn't. We didn't know it. Like, if we knew we were going to move back to Kentucky, we wouldn't have brought him down here, obviously. But he was staying with one friend at first, then it wasn't working out with their dog. And then he started staying with my friend Haley, and he did great there. Was around her kids, her smaller kids, never had any issues, was great. The girl that we ended up becoming roommates with actually worked at the daycare that we worked at with us, or she worked at the sister one. And she was like, it'd be really nice if you guys moved in, help out, whatever. So, and we were able to bring Cash. So we had Cash there. And it happened on New Year's Day. New Year's Day 2020 is when this situation happened. We had actually spent New Year's with Amberlynn and Becky and Eric and Ricky. I don't know if that's the drunk night y'all are talking about. I don't know. But I know that we still were kind of iffy on him because he had shown signs of aggression towards dogs, never people. So we still just kept weary because our roommate had a dog. And I was like, listen, while we're gone, either just let him be outside, let him in, drink water, eat, there's a water bowl outside, whatever, or keep him in his kennel, or just make sure you're, like, with him. If you're just going to have him out, just make sure you watch him, because I just didn't want him getting aggressive with her dog, even though it was a female dog. I just didn't want anything happening while we weren't there. So Amberlynn and Becky were like, well, it's been a while since we've been, like, towards where we lived. And she was like, well, what if we go to Olive Garden and all this stuff? So we drove, and we were literally getting into the town that me and Dana were living in. And our roommate starts calling Dana, and she's like hysterical, and she says that Cash has just bit her 2-year-old that was also living there. And we try to ask her what happened, like, is the baby okay? Is it like, you know, like, what happened? And she did not know. She did not know. She said she didn't see it happen. She wasn't even in the living room. It happened in the kitchen. She was in her bedroom, which was in the very back of the house. The kitchen was at the front of the house. I don't know what happened. There was a lot of iffy things going on with her as a mother as well that was beyond my control. And I'm not gonna get into all that. But all I knew was that I needed to go and get this baby to the doctor. I didn't know what to do about Cash right then. I just knew that with this happening and taking her to the hospital, that animal control and the health department were going to get involved, and 98% sure Cash was going to have to get put down. I tell Amberlynn and Becky, sorry, you know, like, this is what's going on, whatever. We get to the place, and I see the baby. I immediately put her in my car. Like, I was really close to that baby, and I feel really bad for that baby. Like I said, I had some concerns with the way that that person was mothering that child. And I still think about her almost every day, and I feel really bad that I never did anything about what was going on with that kid. But she's fine now. I know she is, but I still feel bad about what was going on then. But, I mean, she would go straight to me. Like, so I literally got there, got her to the hospital. Dana stayed behind with Cash. She got bit basically right here, like basically just one bite right here. And it was pretty rough. It was already very bruised. She didn't need stitches though or anything. Cash had his rabies shot, so there wasn't that to worry about. And I did have to fill out forms for the health department and animal control. And I asked them, you know, am I just gonna have to put him down? Like, what? And they said, don't do anything until they've came and assessed him, basically. I got a call while I was at work, I think the next day, just asking where the dog was and, you know, like, what was being done right then. And I told him, you know, where he was, and I told them that we hadn't done anything to him, that we weren't home when like, they asked us what happened. Because, like I said, I had asked the mom, and she didn't know. And I told her all of what I knew, and, you know, she's like, okay, well, someone will be out tomorrow to do it. And I said, okay, well, I have to work, but someone will be there. So Dana's dad waited for this guy the next day, and listen, that Cash was also territorial over just, like, male gender. Like, he didn't like male dogs, he didn't like men, he liked Dana's dad, and that's literally about it. And, like, a couple guy friends that we had, but, like, just random men, no, was not his cup of tea. Well, Cash was down on a chain, and he let this health department guy walk down to him, rub his belly, scratch his ears, just act like the best dog to this man. And Dana's dad even explained to him, hey man, he doesn't like men, you know, don't try to get too friendly with him. And then he let him do all that. So it was just very surprising. And the guy basically said that he didn't deem Cash dangerous. He said that it was ultimately a family matter because we were all living together when it happened, and it was up to us what we thought should be done about Cash. And when we talked to Dana's dad about it, we were like, well, how can we trust him again in someone's house? Like, we don't know what he's going to do. And he basically just said, don't put him down. Just let him stay here with me, out here on his chain, being a good dog. Well, June of 2021, we go to move in with Dana's dad after we come out of the house that we had together. And the day that we're moving into the house, I don't know how, but he gets off of his chain, and my niece, who's 6, is swinging on the swing set that's up by the house, and he's just like, probably like 6 feet away from her, just like at a stance and growling. Like he's just waiting for her to do the right move and he's gonna get her. And he had never done that before to her. Like, he knows those kids have always played with him. It was crazy. Well, Dana realizes he's off of his chain. I don't tell it because I'm like moving stuff in and out in the front of the house. This is behind the house. Well, Dana starts yelling for me, telling me that he's off the chain. And, you know, I try to get to Gracie, between him and Gracie, and so does Dana. And Dana tries to get him to get back on his chain, and he kind of growls at her, but then he kind of steps back and realizes who it is. I don't know if he was just like confused or what. Gets him back on the chain, everything's fine. You know, like, nothing happened, but it was scary. And I felt bad for him. And I just kept going down there trying to love on him, and he let me. And about 2 days later, I went down there and was like really good playing with him. I had him all excited. He was still on his chain though. I didn't want him to get off of it just in case. But I was playing with a stick with him, like we were playing with toys. I was loving on him, like he was being such a good dog. And I turned around from him when I went to be done playing with him to go back inside because I had got dirty. I was ready to go in. I was ready to eat, you know, whatever. And as soon as I turned around from him, I don't know, like, what happened, but he jumped onto me, like, jumped, scratched my back all up, and was just, like, snarling and trying to get my neck from behind. And, I mean, it was scary. I honestly thought that he was going to get me, but I just barely got out of his, like, chain range. So then we were, like, going back and forth talking about it. We were like, well, what do we do? Like, if no one can go down there and play with him, no one can go down there and love on him, no one can go down there and just be like, come on, Cash, you're going to go with us today and run around and take him to PetSmart, whatever. You know, like, just do normal things with your dog, because we're still doing those things. I was like, if we cannot do these things, he's going to be miserable, not having any attention, not just being on a chain day in and day out. Like, who's going to feed him if no one can go down there and go near him? We were just, like, very concerned, and we were like, there's just no way for an animal to have to live with no human contact, just food and water when you can get it if you let someone near you to feed you, and being tied up all the time. Like, because there was no way we could take him out anywhere. How could we trust him, you know? Like, and Dana's dad ended up putting him down for us. Yes, that means that he used... I don't know how to say that without it getting, like, in trouble on YouTube, but he did it himself. That's all you need to know, really. And then shortly after that, we lost our other dog, Piper, and we don't know what happened to Piper. We had her for about a year. She was about to turn 2 years old when we lost her. We lost her in January before me and Dana broke up, and I still don't know what happened to her. We don't know what was wrong with her. She had just got sick and passed, but she was a blue heeler Beagle Basset Hound mix, and she was a pretty dog, and Cash and her got along really good, but I don't know. To me, I don't know, it was just like one of those things that's normal to me. It might not be normal to some of you guys, but it is to me. And you can call me an animal killer. And my whole life I've had to have dogs put down and us just be the ones to do it. I've never done it myself. I know my stepdad's done it. And, you know, Dana's dad had done it. You know, like, to me, I don't know, it was just like one of those things that's normal to me. It might not be normal to some of you guys, but it is to me. And you can call me an animal killer. But I mean, it's a very traumatic thing that happened, and nothing you guys say like that is going to bother me because I know where I stand with it. So yeah, that is Cash and everything that happened with him. Why not just smoke flower? Those vapes are brutal in your lungs and you rip it way too much. I do have flower, but I don't know, the flower makes me have like the worst cough, and it makes, you know, like, I don't know. I do have flower though. It's just, I'm not going to do that right now, you know, sitting here. This is also convenient when I go out and stuff. Not driving, of course. For the beginning of October, me and her got in a really bad argument in Walmart. I called her the ex from before. I called her the pet name that I had for them. It was Pookie. I don't know what it was, but it set her off, and she was in the scooters at Walmart. She was in one of those, and she just kind of took off. And I kept calling her. I couldn't find her. She got, like, away from me, and she wouldn't answer me. I couldn't find her. You know, she would not answer me, and I was, like, not about it. I was like, okay, whatever. And I left. I went to my car. I don't think I had anything with me. I think she had stuff in her buggy, but I went to my car, and I went back to the apartment. Now, we lived just around the corner from this Walmart, so we weren't too far, but it was still, if you walked it, it was a good walk. So I get home, and I take a shower in hopes that when I get out, everything will have cooled off. Maybe she would have called me, whatever. So she had called me a couple times when I get out of the shower, and lo and behold, she had started to walk home. She walked probably like halfway. So she walked a good bit. It was very surprising. But she did. She walked a good bit, and I went and picked her up and drove her the rest of the way home. For the love of God and all things holy, she did stink. How about that? Surely y'all have been in a situation where you have been around a bigger person and could smell their swamp ass. Ex I had before, I started reaching out to her because, I don't know, that's just, I feel like that's normal, what people do when you start to have issues in a new relationship. I don't know, you seek comfort in what you knew before, I guess is what I was doing. I would just call her when I was alone, basically, or text her. The way I texted her, though, I would get a texting app on my phone and delete it when I wasn't using it. So that was pretty sneaky on my part, it was pretty bad on my part, but I just knew that there was no way Amberlynn would have let me talk to her, basically, so I hid it. We had gotten into a big fight at some point, and I don't know what we were arguing about, but then I think either my mom or my mammy called me about going over there because my mammy was going to my mom's, and she was like, hey, we're going to cook. You guys should come over. And I was like, heck yeah. You know, like, I was ready to go. I hadn't seen my mom in a little while. I was ready to go over there and eat some good dinner and what have you. Well, Amberlynn didn't want to go, and I said, that's fine. You don't have to go. Because, I mean, like I said, all that drama from before with her and my mom, they were just tense. But she didn't want me to go. And I was like, okay, well, it's been a little while since I've been over there. Just, you know, I'm going to go over there. And she was just, like, throwing a big, just fit. I don't know how else to describe it. She was crying. And I know it was a Code Red Mountain Dew in my hand. She will swear to you that this didn't happen. I've talked to her about it before, and she swears it didn't happen. So I don't know why she thinks that, but why would I make this up? I would try to walk out of the house, and I know I had this Code Red Mountain Dew in my hand, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go. So, and because we were already arguing, I was like, I don't want to be around you anyway right now. Like, we were arguing. I wanted to go see my mom. She starts screaming at me from the sliding glass doorway, saying that she's going to harm herself if I leave, and I don't know, just all this stuff, you know, just going nuts. And then I was like, no, you won't. You know, I said, that's not something to play around with. Just let me go see my mom. And she starts, like, coming at me, you know, like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So I get in my car, and I leave the can on my top of my car, and I close the door real quick, and I lock the door, and she's, like, telling me to get out, all this stuff, and she ends up throwing the can at my car. Made me mad. And I want to say I ended up not going. I don't think I did. I'm, like, 98% sure I did not go to my mom's. I ended up just going back inside and dealing with her.
So I'm not the biggest fan of Dusty. I obviously don't agree with them when it comes to many things, including how they treat their pets. I can say, however, that even though I'm not a fan and I disagree with them, they were manipulated by Amber. They were a victim of hers. And so, yeah, I can absolutely acknowledge that. I'm just sort of hoping they bring their own spin to their YouTube channel because they've said it themselves that they don't really have much more tea on Amber. So, in my own personal opinion, I just don't think it would be interesting to watch a stream and hear the same questions and answers over and over.
For the love of God and all things holy, she did stink.
Alrighty, y'all, that's it for now. Hopefully, we'll get more info after Destiny's live stream this evening about what direction they're taking their YouTube channel, or if this is just simply a catch-up stream. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you liked this video, please toss me a like and a subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you missed the Destiny era in the Amberverse. Thank y'all so much, and please stay safe. Peace and love.